Hello there! Welcome to Roundhouse Roundup, episode 12. This time, it's all about the PSP. We've got 3 reviews of fighting games that have just come out on PSP, and we'll see if they're worth your money or not. First on the list is Final Fantasy Dissidia. Final Fantasy Dissidia is a Final Fantasy fan's dream, as 10 characters from 10 Final Fantasies fight against 10 other villains from 10 Final Fantasies, with a few hidden characters thrown in for good measure. The game definitely has a Power Stone-like flavor, with a little bit of Smash Brothers in there. Not really. It's kind of hard to quantify. It might even stand out on its own, although definitely a little Psychic Force in there if you want to swing that way. The game takes a little while to understand. It's got what I call the Final Fantasy learning curve, as they have to explain the system in the most complicated way possible rather than, just letting you figure it out and play with it. But after 20 or 30 minutes, you'll understand what's going on. Basically, you have 2 kinds of attacks. Attacks that raise your own attack power and lower your opponent's, and attacks that use the amount of attack power you have to deliver damage to your opponent. You win the fight after your opponent's hit points have dropped to 0. There's a lot of strategy in this game. Some characters fight well at long range, some fight well at close range. Some want to get close and close distance and pressure. Some put on the pressure from far away. There's also ways to set up your opponent for various attacks, positioning him in the way you want him to be. And there's a lot of strategy in customizing your character, giving him the abilities and equipment you want to best reflect your playing style. However, this means Dissidia succeeds and fails as a fighting game. It succeeds in the fact that it is very easy to figure out how you want to play your character, to understand the mechanics of your character, and setting traps and outthinking your opponent while your opponent is trying to outthink you. However, it fails due to the fact that your character can be customized to be more powerful than other characters by leveling up, such that you can destroy other people's characters with nary but a thought. However, I can't help but enjoy the hell out of this game, so recommendation way up for Dissidia. Go ahead and buy this, you won't regret it at all. Next on the list is Fate Unlimited Codes, available exclusively as a digital download through the PlayStation Network for $29.99. It takes up about 570 megabytes on your memory card. Now, even if you don't like anime fighting games, or you have no idea what Fate Unlimited Codes is about, or Fate Stay Night is about, or what this has to do with porn games, because it does! And I don't understand why. They don't need to have sex. Japan! Not everything has to be about sex. But it's okay. It's okay, because I think you're gonna like this game. Fate Unlimited Codes features 14 initially playable characters, with a few more secret ones hidden for good measure, with plenty of unlockables to keep you going for a long time. The game is actually quite cinematic. The arcade mode definitely has some great story. Everything is fully voiced. Unfortunately, there's no English language option, but for some of you that's a benefit, so go with that what you will. Every character's motivation is clearly defined, although it seems like there's some backstory that we're not understanding here. If you're familiar with the Fate Stay Night, the whole Fate mythos, you know exactly what's going on here. But basically, 7 magi have made a pact with 7 summoned servants. They all try to beat the crap out of each other, and the winning pair gets a thing called the Holy Grail, which lets the winning master grant 1 wish. The game is a lot of fun to play. It's played on a mostly 2D plane with the ability to sidestep, more like Tekken than Soul Calibur, especially in the fact that you can get some really good juggle combos going. But it seems like there's plenty of options on the defensive side, though it leans heavily toward the offensive player, which is generally the current standard in fighting games. All the moves look really sweet and cinematic, especially the throws and some of the supers. And the fighting is actually very enjoyable. You feel like you're accomplishing a lot with your combos. They're not that hard to learn, but there's definitely plenty of depth and a tutorial that teaches you all of your basic and advanced techniques. So this is definitely one of the best, if not the best, PSP fighter right now. It's available as of this Thursday, September 3rd, which is the day I'm recording this, for $29.99, and definite recommendation to buy. Before we go on to the final review of the evening, I'd like to introduce this week's KOF Watch. The patch is now available for the PlayStation 3 version of King of Fighters 12. Unfortunately, I don't have it for the PlayStation 3, but from what I'm able to ascertain, this is about as good as it's going to get. The net play is now slightly worse than Street Fighter 4, which to me is going to be pretty good, especially after what we've had to sit through for about a month. Also, the Raiden Elizabeth glitch is fixed, and that's really about it. It's a small download, about 20 megs for the PlayStation 3. Hopefully we'll get the patch for the 360 version in a few weeks, and then I will do my re-review of the game. But thank God this is all over. So now we come to the final review of the evening, Soul Calibur Broken Destiny for the PSP. If you're unfamiliar about my feelings regarding Soul Calibur, check out Angry Rivet Gaming Episode 1, where Power Noise Kitten says it better than I ever could. I hate this game. It sucks. Do not buy Soul Calibur. It sucks. That's my review. That's all I'm going to do. Yeah, maybe is it unprofessional? No, I've played the game. E3, it sucked. Comic-Con, it still sucked. Do I need to play it some more to know it sucks? No. It's the same game as Soul Calibur 4 that took out the Star Wars characters, that put in a twirly mustache guy, and Kratos. Kratos might be the best thing about that game. It still sucks. So, don't buy it. And that's a wrap, folks. Keep tuning in to the Roundhouse Roundup for all the news, reviews, previews. Wait, I forgot something. This weekend at the Irvine Hilton across from John Wayne Airport in California, it's West Coast Warzone, Saturday and Sunday, September 5th and 6th. Major games going to be played: Street Fighter 4, Blaze Blue, King of Fighters 12, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, and more. I will be competing. Hopefully I can do better this time than the last couple of outings I've had, which have been kind of... But it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're in the area, come out, play. Registration at the door is going to be $20, plus $10 for each game you want to enter. But it's going to be a big tournament, and all games will be played on Xbox 360, so bring your appropriate joystick. Because if you don't, you will be laughed at, because you have a little bitty controller. Look at me, little controller. How do I do all the joystick moves? I can't, because I have the little controller for my little hands. Ah, it's stupid. See you next week, kids.